I felt that Puffy was a regular, normal guy. And then when he started hanging with the guys in the industry, they did things to him. And then allegedly, he did things to Usher. It goes on and on. But we got to stop this pointing the finger at the person who gets caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Where did it start from? See, people don't want to touch on those angles that just started being the major executives who run these labels. So you guys want to speak on the people who got thrown under the bus, the sacrifice lamb.
Okay, well, that's actually very insightful for you to give that perspective. So if you're saying what Diddy did to Usher or what Diddy did to Bieber, that we've seen these videos, not necessarily what he did, but the stories where he's living with them at 13. If he was their mentor, who was Diddy's mentor? We know some of the big names. I'm just curious if you have any names. You don't seem like somebody...
Well, for number one was Clyde Davis. You got to understand one thing. If Death Row, when I started Death Row, you got to remember one thing. I didn't have no co-founder, nobody else. So I started that company on my own and grabbed Dr. Dre. At the end of the day, it was like this. When you have, the Universal is one big company. Doug Morris is the man at the time. Jimmy Iovine's in. If Doug Morris give Puffy a deal worth a whole lot of money and the album didn't recoup, otherwise basically like flop didn't recoup, they're not going to give you no new money if they don't recoup the old money. But Puffy was able to go to the same umbrella and go to Jimmy and get just much, even bigger check that Doug gave him, even though it have not recouped. Only certain people can get these type of favors. Now, in my situation, I didn't do anything to lose my company. I didn't do anything illegal to get my company taken away from me. They was able to commit fraud for my company, but it ends up to the hands of people who want to buy my company for $500 million, $700 million. I kept saying no, and then turn around, they can get block everybody and end up getting it for what, 20 or 30 million, which is crazy. If you add all that type of stuff up, and you'll see how the industry been built on the secret rooms. The people who don't participate in the secret room is the people who later on get burnt. People who participate in those rooms, they continue to grow. Even when they get caught, they're not really caught because obviously Puffy knew they was coming to the raid. Security wasn't there. He used to have like 4, 6 Muslim guys doing security. They wasn't there. A lot of people wasn't there. How do people know all these things? It wasn't just a coincidence, you know? So it's easy to point the finger, but let's look at the whole thing and talk about somewhere you're going to educate everybody to help everybody.